Welcome back to Stay with Trends. Today we are running up to top 10 richest people in the world. Of course, due to this pandemic situation, markets get fluctuated, and also each billionaire fluctuates depending on the day. In these top 10 lists, most of the billionaires occur in US. Let's see each richest people, and their stories behind them. Let's get into this. Number 10. Larry Page. He is an American computer scientist, an internet entrepreneur, born on March 26, 1973 in East Lansing, Michigan. He has a net worth of $67.8 billion. His parents were both computer experts. His father, Carl Page, was a pioneer in computer science and artificial intelligence, and his mother taught computer programming. After earning a Bachelor of Science degree in engineering from the University of Michigan, he decided to concentrate on computer engineering for graduate school at Stanford University, where he met Brin. They both started research project at Stanford University and created a search engine. Firstly, they named the search engine page as Google, which refers to the number 1, followed by 100 zeros, to reflect their mission, to organize the immense amount of information available on the web. Later they called Google. Google became the world's most popular search engine, after launching in 1998. In 2006, Google purchased the most popular website for user-submitted streaming videos, YouTube, for $1.65 billion in stock. Larry Page stepped down as CEO of Alphabet, the parent of Google, in December 2019, but remains a board member and a controlling shareholder. He is a founding investor in space exploration company Planetary Resources and is also funding flying car startups Kitty Hawk and Opener. Number 9. Elon Musk. He is an engineer, industrial designer, technology entrepreneur, and philanthropist, born on June 28, 1971 in Pretoria, South Africa. He has a net worth of $69.2 billion. He was born to a South African father and a Canadian mother. He showed interest towards computers and entrepreneurship. At the age of 12, he created a video game, and it was well established in a computer magazine. In 1988, after obtaining a Canadian passport, Musk left South Africa, because he was unwilling to support apartheid, through compulsory military service, and because he sought the greater economic opportunities, available in the United States. He joined Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario. And in 1992, he transferred to the University of Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, where he received bachelor's degrees in physics and economics in 1995. After that, he enrolled in graduate school in physics at Stanford University in California, but he left after 2 days because he recognized that the internet had much more potential to change society than work in physics. Then he founded Zip2, a company that provides online newspapers. In 1999, this company was bought by the computer manufacturer Compaq for $307 million, and then he founded an online financial services company called X.com. Later became PayPal, which specialized in transferring money online. The online auction eBay bought PayPal in 2002 for $1.5 billion. In 2002, he started a private manufacturing rocket company called SpaceX. He sought to reduce the cost of rocket production, without draining into sea, by developing a fully reusable rocket that could lift off and return to the pad it launched from. This company is now valued at nearly $36 billion. In 2004 he became one of the major funders of Tesla Motors, later renamed Tesla, an electric car company, founded by entrepreneurs Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning. In 2006, Tesla introduced its first car, the Roadster, which could travel 394 kilometers on a single charge. In 2013, he proposed a pod vehicle, which carries 28 passengers, and travel 560 kilometers between Los Angeles and San Francisco in 35 minutes at a top speed of 1,220 kilometers per hour, nearly the speed of sound. Number 8. Steve Ballmer. He is an American businessman, an investor, born on March 24, 1956 in Detroit, Michigan. He has a net worth of $69.7 billion. In 1977, he graduated a bachelor's degree in mathematics and economics from Harvard University. After that, he worked as a product manager in consumer product company called Procter & Gamble for 2 years. After that, he joined in Stanford University Graduate School of Business. In 1980, he left from the university and joined with Bill Gates to become a business manager, a friend from Harvard, who had dropped out of school, and co-founded Microsoft. After 2 decades, Ballmer held various positions in order to make Microsoft company a most powerful and profitable companies in American history. Much of its initial success was due to the dominance of its operating systems, MS Document and Windows. In 1998, Ballmer became president of Microsoft, and 2 years later he became the company's CEO, after Gates stepped down from that position to become chairman. Ballmer saw some difficulties over Microsoft. After the first dot-com crash, he made more effort to catch Google in search, and Apple in mobile phones. In August 2013, Ballmer announced that he would be stepping down as CEO within a year, and he was succeeded by Satya Nadella in February 2014. Later that year, Ballmer purchased the Los Angeles Clippers of the NBA. In 2018, he invested $59 million in Social Solutions, which makes software for non-profits and government agencies. Number 7. Larry Ellison. Lawrence Joseph Ellison is an American business magnate, investor, and philanthropist, born on August 17, 1944, in the Bronx, New York. He has a net worth of $70.9 billion. When he was 9 months old, baby Larry came down with pneumonia. His mom sent him to Chicago to live with his aunt and uncle, Lillian and Louis Ellison. Louis, his adoptive father, was a Russian immigrant who took Ellison in tribute to the place in which he entered the U.S., Ellis Island. He joined in University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. And at that time, his adoptive mother died. This reason made him to drop out from the university, and later he again joined in another university, called University of Chicago, but again dropped out after completing only 1 semester. In 1966, a 22-year-old Ellison carried a job opportunity, and he often changes companies like Wells Fargo and mainframe manufacturer Amdahl. At the same time, he captured computer programming skills. The turning point came when Ellison came to work for electronics company, Ampex, which had a contract to build a database for the CIA codenamed Oracle. In 1977, he created an own company, with the help of Bob Miner and Ed Oates. They invested $2,000, and Ellison had $1,200 profit in his pocket. Ellison and company were inspired by IBM computer scientist Edgar F. Codd's theories for a so-called relational database, a way for computer systems to store and access information. When Steve Jobs returned to the Apple as a CEO, he suggested Ellison to sit on the board, but unfortunately, Ellison didn't accept the offer. In 2012, he famously bought the entire Hawaiian island of Lanai for an estimated $300 million. He gave up the Oracle CEO role in 2014, but still serves as chairman of the board and chief technology officer. In May 2016, Ellison pledged $200 million to the University of Southern California for a cancer treatment center. Ellison joined Tesla's board in December 2018, after purchasing 3 million Tesla shares earlier that year. Number 6. Mukesh Ambani. He is an Indian billionaire business magnate, born on April 19, 1957 in Aden, Yemen. He has a net worth of $71.2 billion. His father Dhirubhai Ambani was first worked in gas station attendant in Aden. Due to increasing harsh climate, Ambani's family moved to Mumbai, India, where they lived in a small apartment with 2 rooms at low cost. Reliance was founded by his late father, Dhirubhai Ambani, a yarn trader, in 1966 as a small textile manufacturer. Mukesh Ambani graduated a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering from the University of Mumbai, and without wasting time, he pursued a master's degree in business administration from Stanford University. In 1981, he left the program and joined the family business in order to improve the company, venturing into a vast array of areas, including communications, infrastructure, petrochemicals, petroleum refining, polyester fibers, and gas and oil production. In 2002, his father died, and the company took control by Ambani and his brother, Anil. Mukesh took control of the gas, oil, and petrochemicals units as Reliance Industrial Limited, under the umbrella of the Reliance Group. Ambani has been credited with creating the globe's largest startup petroleum refinery, as well as spearheading the creation of several state-of-the-art manufacturing facilities that vastly increased Reliance Industrial Limited production capabilities. In 2004, he was named one of the world's most respected business leaders by the professional services firm PricewaterhouseCoopers. In 2016, Reliance sparked a price war in India's hyper-competitive telecom market, with the launch of 4G phone service Jio. Jio has signed on more than 340 million customers by offering free domestic voice calls, dirt cheap data services, and virtually free smartphone. Number 5. Warren Buffett. He is an American investor, business tycoon, and philanthropist, born on August 30, 1930 in Omaha, Nebraska. He has a net worth of $72.2 billion. His father worked as a stockbroker and served as a U.S. congressman. During Buffett's childhood days, his friends have said that the young boy was a mathematical genius who could add large columns of numbers in his head. He always used to visit his father's stock brokerage shop and chalked in the stock prices on the blackboard in the office. At the age of 11, he invested first stock at price $38 per share, but it dropped to $27. He waited patiently until it reached $40 and sold profit at a lower price. If he waited some more days, he can made profit up to $200. At that time, he learned that patience is more important in investing. At the age of 13, he started his own business as a paperboy and selling his own horse racing tip sheet. Buffett enrolled at the University of Pennsylvania at the age of 16 to study business. He stayed 2 years, moved to the University of Nebraska to finish up his degree, and emerged from college at age 20 with nearly $10,000 from his childhood businesses. In 1951, he received his master's degree in economics at Columbia University, where he studied under economist Benjamin Graham, and furthered his education at the New York Institute of Finance. In 1956, Buffett formed the firm Buffett Partnership Limited in his hometown of Omaha. Utilizing the techniques learned from Graham, he was successful in identifying undervalued companies, and became a millionaire. Despite the success of Buffett Partnership, its founder dissolved the firm in 1969, to focus on the development of Berkshire Hathaway. He phased out its textile manufacturing division, instead, expanding the company by buying assets in media, The Washington Post, insurance, Geico, and oil, Exxon. He is called by another name, the Oracle of Omaha. Warren Buffett is one of the most successful investors of all time. Buffett runs Berkshire Hathaway, which owns more than 60 companies, including insurer Geico, battery maker Duracell, and restaurant chain Dairy Queen. He's promised to donate over 99% of his wealth. So far he has given more than $41 billion away. In 2010, he and Gates launched the Giving Pledge, asking billionaires to commit to donating half their wealth to charitable causes. Buffett returned to the news in spring 2020, with the announcement that Berkshire Hathaway had dumped its holdings in the Big Four airlines. The industry would never fully recover from the coronavirus pandemic. Number 4. Mark Zuckerberg. Full name: Mark Elliott Zuckerberg. Born on May 14, 1984 in White Plains, New York. He is an American computer programmer, and became co-founder and CEO of Facebook, a social networking site, in the year 2004. He has a net worth of $89.2 billion. He enrolled in Phillips Exeter Academy. After that, he joined at Harvard University in 2002. On February 4, 2004, he launched website called thefacebook.com, and renamed as Facebook in 2005. He first circulated this website with the source of university students in Harvard, and reached very well within 2 weeks among students. Also, his roommates, Dustin Moskovitz and Chris Hughes, helped him to add features and make the site available to other campuses across the country. Facebook quickly became popular, as registered users could create profiles, upload photos and other media, and keep in touch with friends. In 2004, the one of the most famous entrepreneur called Peter Thiel runs Palo Alto Company in California. Zuckerberg talked venture capitalist Peter Thiel into giving them seed money. He dropped out from Harvard University in order to concentrate on the fledgling company, of which he became CEO and president. In May 2005, he received his first venture capital of about $12.7 million. In September 2006, Facebook reached more by signing up with their own email address, and helps them to gather people by creating social network. About that time, Zuckerberg turned down $1 billion buyout offer from Yahoo, but in 2007, Facebook struck a deal with Microsoft, in which the software company paid $240 million for a 1.6% stake in Facebook. 2 years later, Digital Sky Technologies purchased a 1.96% share for $200 million. Number 3. Bill Gates. He is an American business magnate, software developer, investor, and philanthropist, born on October 28, 1955 in Seattle, Washington. He has a net worth of $112.8 billion. At the age 13, his parents enrolled him at Seattle's exclusive preparatory Lakeside School, He blossomed in nearly all his subjects, excelling in math and science, but also doing very well in drama and English. Most of the time, he used to spend his time in computers, and wrote a tic-tac-toe program in basic computer language that allowed users to play against the computer. He graduated from Lakeside in 1973. He scored 1,590 out of 1,600 on the college SAT test, a feat of intellectual achievement that he boasted about for several years when introducing himself to new people. At the same year, he enrolled at Harvard University in the fall and selected a career in the facet of law because of parents' willingness, but he soon dropped out from the university in order to pursue his own business, Microsoft, with partner Alan. He met Alan in his high school, Lakeside School, 2 years his senior. The pair became fast friends, bonding over their common enthusiasm for computers, even though they were very different people. Alan was more reserved and shy. Gates was feisty and at times combative. In 1970, at the age of 15, Gates and Alan went into business together, developing Trafo Data, a computer program that monitored traffic patterns in Seattle. They netted $20,000 for their efforts. Gates and Alan wanted to start their own company, but Gates' parents wanted him to finish school and go on to college, where they hoped he would work to become a lawyer. Alan went to Washington State University, while Gates went to Harvard, though the pair stayed in touch. After attending college for 2 years, Alan dropped out and moved to Boston, Massachusetts, to work for Honeywell. The Altair was made by a small company in Albuquerque, New Mexico, called Micro-Instrumentation and Telemetry Systems. Gates and Alan contacted the company, proclaiming that they were working on a basic software program that would run the Altair computer. Alan was hired at MITS, and Gates soon left Harvard to work with him. Together they founded Microsoft. At the beginning of 1979, Gates moved the company's operations to Bellevue, Washington, just east of Seattle. At the age of 23, Gates placed himself as the head of the company. With his acumen for software development and a keen business sense, Gates got a chance to combine with IBM because of his mother, Mary. In November 1980, IBM was looking for software that would operate their upcoming personal computer, and approached Microsoft. He delivered it for $50,000 fee, the same price he had paid for the software, in its original form. IBM wanted to buy the source code, which would have given them the information to the operating system. By 1983, Microsoft was going global with offices in Great Britain and Japan. An estimated 30% of the world's computers ran on its software. In 2006, Gates announced he was transitioning himself from full-time work at Microsoft to devote more quality time to the foundation. His last full day at Microsoft was June 27, 2008. In February 2014, Gates stepped down as chairman of Microsoft, in order to move into a new position as technology advisor. Longtime Microsoft CEO, Steve Ballmer, was replaced by 46-year-old Satya Nadella. In 1987, a 23-year-old Microsoft product manager, named Melinda French, caught the eye of Gates, then 32. The very bright and organized Melinda was a perfect match for Gates. In time, their relationship grew as they discovered an intimate and intellectual connection. On January 1, 1994, Melinda and Gates were married in Hawaii. With his wife Melinda, Bill Gates chairs the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the world's largest private charitable foundation. In May 2020, the Gates Foundation said it would spend $300 million to fight the coronavirus pandemic, funding treatment, detection, and vaccines. To date, Gates has donated $35.8 billion worth of Microsoft stock to the Gates Foundation. Number 2. Bernard Arnault and family. He is a French billionaire businessman, an art collector, born on March 5, 1949 in Roubaix, France. He has a net worth of $113.2 billion. He graduated from the university called École Polytechnique in Paris, with a degree in engineering. His father owned a business in the facet of construction called Ferret-Vinyl. In 1971, Arnault took control of his father's business, and after 8 years, he changed company's name called Ferrinal Inc., and also shifted its focus to real estate. Arnault, and with his partner Antoine Bernheim, purchased Boussac Saint Frères, at the price of $80 million, a bankrupt textile company that owned the fashion house of Christian Dior. Then, in 1987, Arnault was invited to invest in LVMH by the company's chairman, Henry Rackemeyer. In 1990, LVMH started to fold companies with leather goods, jeweler, DFS Group, and the beauty retailer. He oversees an empire of 70 brands including Louis Vuitton and Sephora. In November 2019, LVMH struck a deal to buy American jeweler Tiffany & Co. for $16.2 billion, believed to be the biggest luxury brand. LVMH spent $3.2 billion in 2019 for luxury hospitality group, Ballmer, which owns or manages 46 hotels, trains, and river cruises. Number 1. Jeff Bezos. He is an American internet entrepreneur, industrialist, media proprietor, and investor, born on January 12, 1964 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He has a net worth of $176 billion. He graduated in the stream of Computer Science and Electrical Engineering at Princeton University. After that, he worked on Wall Street, and in 1990, he became the youngest senior vice president at the investment firm D.E. Shaw. After 4 years, he quit his job and started to own a company called Amazon.com, an online bookstore that became one of the internet's biggest success stories. After opening his own company, he suggested few of his friends to beta test his site. In few months later, he hired some employees, began developing software with Bezos in his garage. They eventually expanded operations into a 2-bedroom house, equipped with 3 Sun microstations. The initial success reached in 45 foreign countries within 30 days, and in 2 months, sales reached $20,000 a week, growing faster than Bezos and his startup team. These success reached without any media promotion. He continued to diversify Amazon's offerings, with the sale of CDs and videos in 1998, and later clothes, electronics, toys, and more through major retail partnerships. In 2007, Amazon launched Kindle, a handheld digital book reader that allowed users to buy, download, read, and store their book selections. In early December 2013, Bezos made headlines when he revealed a new experimental initiative by Amazon, called Amazon Prime Air, using drones to provide delivery services to customers. In 2017, Amazon announced it had acquired the Whole Foods grocery chain for $13.7 billion in cash. Bezos owns the Washington Post and Blue Origin, an aerospace company that is developing rockets for commercial use. Between March and April 2020, amid the pandemic, Amazon said it hired 175,000 additional workers. In April 2020, Bezos said he would give $100 million to Feed America, a nonprofit that operates food banks and food pantries across the country. Amazon has faced criticism from U.S. senators and the general public for its treatment of warehouse workers during the coronavirus pandemic.